Thank you. We are back. And to our public and those watching us, we really appreciate your patience. We will be concluding soon. Okay, so admin 421, that's for your information. I believe, unless you have any question, for the driver, this is just for information, and I'll give some changes in yellow. All right. Good news stories. What's happening in your jurisdictions?
I was at a school council meeting last night, and I was thrilled to see 12 parents there.
Brand new?
Well, some of them were true, and there were 3 men. And that was good.
Surprise.
So that was like, wow. The only, it was a very good meeting, and very concerned parents, some new parents who their children are just going into grade 1, but there's a whole bunch coming soon, so we're gonna fill that school right up when we get there. Just from home. So that was our good news story.
Wonderful. Anyone else?
I went to God's Garden on Friday and was talking with this mom in the hallway before it started. And so told her how much I love the school and how excited I am watching the students. She had her kids at Crestonbury. She brought them to St. Augustine's. So she said to me, she said, what do you love most about the school? And I said, it feels safe when you walk through the doors, you feel safe. She said, oh, I'm so glad you said that. That's exactly how I felt when I brought my kids. That's awesome.
Yeah, what's happening in Grayson Valley?
At St. Anthony's, we also had our first school council meeting, and it was very well attended as well. I mean, as probably first school council meetings on, but I have confidence that a lot will stick around. It's good.
That's when we haven't had ours yet. I'm following up to find out the dates. Leduc.
So I attended Notre Dame's school council last week with Dawn, and there was a number of new faces that weren't there last year. And then Dawn attended St. Ben's the week prior, and same thing, a number of new parents. So it's really refreshing to see people getting involved again and being around other parents that are excited to see how they can get involved.
Like Michael said, let's encourage them and keep them around. So months.
Well, I would just say that the new sports program at Mother DeVille is a big hit, and the kids are really enjoying it. And what, on a more personal note, one of my little grandkids, he's 10 and he does not like school. And now that he's gone to Mother DeVille, he got COVID and he still wanted to go.
Go figure, huh? So what's the new sports program at Mother DeVille? What are they doing?
Well, I'll get Lori to explain because she's the school ops for Mother DeVille, but I do believe that's part of her idea.
Yeah.
That last year, so maybe just speak to you.
Yeah, so they, Jordan and I had a conversation around the sports program. Essentially, it's a variety of sports that they're exposed to. Yeah, and they can leave campus and go to community places. They can go play pickleball or underwater hockey or whatever it is that they can find in the community. And the idea is just simply for exposure and to keep fit. And it's really taken off at Mother DeVille. So
Is that when they came golfing in with Aspen?
Yes, that was for golf.
Yeah, I'll talk to them. They need supper, not hamburgers, right? They need real buffet.
Wasn't about me.
Oh, okay, that's a good way, right? Yeah, she was telling me that a couple of the kids were in with Aspen golfing. And one that I'm going back to school. Going golfing trip. Yeah. Sorry, you were going to say something.
You were saying about the school boards, school councils. making people come back. The first one is always lots. So one of the gentlemen said he would bring in his smoker and offer food. Food was in there, and especially for men, a smoker.
Yeah. Come on. Having this money.
That's a good strategy.
Good strategy. I thought.
Yeah, wonderful. Well, any good news within the division, admin?
Well, enrollment's up, morale's high. I think people are happy to be back.
Thank you. So we look at our work plan. Okay, we know where we are. So we have, okay, we look at our work plan here. So we are back here at 27th, right? And then the 4th, for both evaluations, okay? And then the 14th for the board retreats. Okay, wonderful. And then the 25th for court meeting. All right. When I was the 13th, I see Mrs. Grace. So a lot of party this October here. Okay. So as usual, if you're unable to, quick phone call or email, so then that we plan accordingly. All right, we will look at board calendar. That's what we just did as well. Okay, expense claim. Donna and I have gone through.
We're very hard.
Yeah, we looked at it. Okay. And something I'm saying in here, would you prefer June is June or June, May, June, April, February? Like I see a little bit of blending. Yeah,
Quite honestly, it doesn't impact.
it doesn't impact. Okay.
It's just with trustees, again, if they're looking for their per diems to be included with the honorariums, then we need to have the claims in by the 15th.
Or before the 15th. I send them in anytime.
And after the 15th, then they may get in, it's just that we're processing all the other payrolls at the same time, so it just gets it easier into the workflow with that. So if it's blended, it doesn't matter, it's whatever comes in by that time, so 1 month or not. For review purposes, it makes it easier to compare if all the meetings for 1 month are submitted on the same claim form, so that if there's potential for an inconsistency. I know it's sometimes in the past, I've had to email trustees because one's coming for a full day, one's for a half day, and it wasn't a meeting I was in attendance at, so I'm not sure what is the correct amount, but doing that cross comparison to make sure that there's consistency is more difficult when you break up your month and split. So I leave that to you to decide whether you want to look for it a month at a time, but there's nothing wrong with submitting, let's say, the month of September by October 10th, that you're only counting those September expenditures and reimbursement requests on the single claim form.
Okay. And I like that idea, trustees, if you can, but this was too hard of a work. Yeah, my mind was like, I was saying, so March, like April, right, on one, this thing, so like anyone I'm for, because I send it in advance, so I don't get all my money, right? So probably it will be very great if, just like you said, cut off your September, get it all done, first week October it's out, and then cut it off, because then you have it setting, finished, and then it flows into the, that would be very helpful. Yes.
Just as a word of caution, is when you're using the electronic form, I would highly recommend that you take a copy, two things. One, take a copy and copy it to your own Google Drive. I've noticed that everybody's using the same form, and if you've gone in, you may have noticed that another trustee has entered on the same form, and that's why. It's because you're using the template form and everybody
Which is
will,
on the shared
which is shared.
division drive.
But you can copy it to your own drive and use that. The other thing is that I know financial services sends an email out when they update. So if you're using a paper version or you have made a copy, go back to the updated document and create a new copy for yourself or print off a new copy because the rates will adjust. And I've had a number of requests over the past year to advise trustees that their expense claim form is out of date. The most common thing that is changed automatically is with regards to mileage and what Revenue Canada allows for. Financial services will update that automatically and circulate that out. But if you're using an old form or have done multiple copies of a blank, throw away your copies of those blanks, print off a new one with the updated amounts. So just a couple of points, if you don't mind me adding that in, Mr. Chair.
No. I did that mistake too. I used one of my old phones.
I would also just like to remind, for those of you that travel time is for a committee meeting is accounted into that. So say Jolene has a 4-hour meeting, for me it's 6 hours. And for Michael, I need over 6. So that is part of, so you might be claiming for half a day, but I'm claiming for a day. Just so you're aware of that. Part of it. And I forgot. The Massachusetts one, I totally forgot. But it's now.
So, Ed, if you don't mind, right, would it be helpful for Ed to send a brand new form I'm using?
Didn't they just do that? Didn't
Yeah.
Jennifer just do that?
Yeah,
It's in
it's in the package, if you want to download that, but I want you to send it out via email as well. So that when you download and save it into your own Google Drive, you can do the same here. It's not challenging for you. All right, and then no more.
As an attachment then, as a separate document.
What would be helpful? Do you want to just go back onto your agenda and print it out of there? Or save it?
Yeah.
Or save it? Okay, so doing that, yeah, I should say, yeah. Thank you. And then go say no more, use the brand new form. Okay, yeah. All right, oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, that's okay. I just have a clarity question actually on board calendar, work plan. Do we have, for the upcoming cost meeting, do we know, is it one school council member, one administration is invited? In past years, it's been different. What would the numbers be this year?
What did we send out, Kim, for the cost for an invitation? What did we say just the principal and the school council?
Yeah.
Just one?
Just, yeah, thank you.
Just so when we're talking about it at school councils, we're not getting more people excited by it.
The whole council gets to come.
No worries. All right, thank you for that clarification. Quick question, this is Zoom, right? It's a virtual, or are we going to give a virtual option?
Cost?
Yeah,
In
I
person?
know it's in person, oh, sorry, yeah, in person, yeah. Are we going to give a virtual option should one or two come?
That's it. It's your call. I would suggest not. It's not kind of a sit and get. We want people talking at tables, and that's gonna be a problem if.
Just looking out for
Yeah.
some areas that sometimes. Okay, thank you. Board action, Mr. Bouchard, what do we have?
Just before I read the items, if I could just have trustees afterwards for a few minutes after
Yes.
the meeting.
After the meeting, okay, check it.
So I have 3 items. The funding manual update will bring to the October meeting a summary of key changes to this year's funding manual. Fees will bring to the October meeting details of the fee breakdown in revenues. And lastly, we'll add to the Archbishop agenda, what can schools do to support the opportunity, knowledge, and exposure to religious vocations.
And then a reminder of the loading allowance, trustees are included. We already have that link, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Wonderful. Closing correspondence, we talked about one already. Yeah, that came from Treasury. Now what did I do with it? And then again, you see all other communications that were going back and forth. I'll share some with you. Other than that, I believe, does anybody have anything else that we need to know in terms of communication? Man? Okay. We will say our closing prayer before we adjourn. All right. If you all may join me in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Grant me, O Lord, my God, a mind to know you, a heart to seek you, wisdom to find you, conduct pleasing to you, faithful perseverance in waiting for you, and the hope of finding and embracing you. Saint Thomas Aquinas, pray for us, all other saints, pray for us in the name of God, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. So our meeting for October will be adjourned at 3:45. And thank you all for attending.